Hello everyone, my name is Selena and this presentation will be about sleep, sleep deprivation, and why sleep is important. So to start off, what exactly is sleep? According to the Cleveland Clinic, sleep is a bodily process that allows your body to rest, repair, and restore itself. Furthermore, sleep is a very active process regulated by both your circadian rhythm and your sleep-wake homeostasis. It's important to note that the circadian rhythm is a 24-hour internal biological clock that helps you regulate your sleep as well as other functions. Factors that mess up these biological regulators include exposure to light, which is why doctors recommend that you do not have screens before bed, jet lag, and also working the night shift. There are 4 stages of the sleep cycle, with each sleep cycle lasting 90 to 120 minutes. During the first stage, your body and your brain slows, getting ready for sleep. During the second stage, there are bursts of electrical activity in the brain, also known as sleep spindles and K-complex. This is theorized to mean that you're organizing information in the brain. Stage 3 is the deepest stage of sleep, and this is when recovery and your immune system and all of that happens. If you're woken up during stage 3, this will lead to mental fog. And the last stage, which is REM sleep, also known as rapid eye movement, during this stage, it's characterized by your eyes moving under your eyelids, and this is when dreaming happens, so your limbs are paralyzed. So if you wake up during this stage, you'll find that you won't be able to move your body. As proof of the fact that your brain is very active, here is a EEG recording of the brain while it's awake and the brain through each stage. So while you're awake, these are the brain waves. It's kind of similar to the brain waves during REM sleep. During stage 1, there's going to be alpha waves released. When you're awake, that's beta waves. During stage 2, there'd be theta waves released, and this is a sleep spindle or K-complex. As we discussed before, during stage 3, delta waves are released, and then you just have REM. So why do we sleep? This is the incredibly important part of why I'm doing this presentation. So first of all, it's to conserve and store energy to prepare you for the next day. It's also really important for growth and recovery. So if you have an injury or if you're sick, you tend to sleep more, and it's just great for healing injuries. And also to consolidate information in your brain. So this helps with consolidating information you learn from short-term to long-term memory. So how much sleep do you need? The age-long question. Generally for teenagers, this is 8 to 10 hours, while for adults, it's 7 to 9 hours, but it really varies from person to person. Generally, the older you are, or as you go down this chart, you need less and less sleep. But also it also, like, there are other factors to consider, such as if you're asleep or if you're sick or if you're pregnant, you may need more sleep. However, as shown by this diagram, not everyone gets enough sleep. As you can see, from 2009 to 2021, the trends of insufficient sleep have been increasing throughout the years. So what are the reasons people do not get enough sleep? The first one is work and school demand, so staying up to study for an exam or to finish your homework. And second of all would be entertainment, so to watch a movie, to finish watching a drama, video games, YouTube videos, etc. But people usually have this common misconception that you can just make up your sleep debt. For example, they think that, okay, I can sleep 5 hours or 3 hours tonight on the weekdays, but then just sleep 12 hours on the weekends. However, this is false, and it's actually shown through research that your body and your metabolism doesn't fully recover from just sleeping more on the weekends. And this leads us to sleep deprivation. So there are 2 types. There's acute sleep deprivation, which is short-term, and chronic sleep deprivation, which is long-term. So sleep deprivation can lead to all kinds of problems, from physical to mental health issues, injuries, loss of productivity, and in in extreme cases, this can even lead to a greater likelihood of death. So, what are the effects of sleep deprivation in the short term? This can lead to headache, fatigue, hand tremors, trouble thinking or concentrating. It could also impact your mood. It could make you more depressed, irritable, or anxious, and it could even mess with your immune system. In the long term, this can also be dangerous in terms of microsleeps. So, for example, if you're driving for a sleep second, you might have a microsleep or just fall asleep for just that few seconds. While this may not seem like a lot in terms of like operating a vehicle or being in the workplace, this could lead to workplace injuries or even car accidents. Not sleeping for extended amounts of time can also lead to hallucinations because your body has trouble processing the sensory information it's getting. Hand tremors because your body can't really regulate their nervous system properly, so your hands will uncontrollably shake. Or it can also impair your judgment and self control areas of the brain, leading to reckless behavior. In the long term, this can lead to a lot of different chronic health conditions they're associated with a lot of different chronic health conditions. So this can lead to dementia or cognitive issues, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease or CVD, stroke, heart disease, kidney disease, infections, certain type of cancers, and a lot more that is not listed here. So with all this in mind, please go to sleep if you can. I've compiled some like sleep hygiene, which these are just a few tips so that you can make a conscious effort to improve your sleep quality. This includes sleeping and waking up at the same time, avoiding screens and bright lights before bed, so not being on your devices at least 30 minutes or an hour before bed, avoiding stimulants like caffeine or nicotine, or depressants like alcohol, having a quiet, cool, and dark sleep environment. So basically an environment that's conducive to falling asleep, in a night routine. So this would include a bubble bath, showering before bed, or just reading a book to just calm down your mind and so you're just not bombarded by thoughts when you just lay in bed. Also, it's important to exercise around at least 30 minutes during the day. So it's easier to sleep at night. However, you shouldn't exercise too close to bed, as that can lead to you just being awake. It's important to note that napping can allow for a short-term boost of energy, but they don't have the same benefits as sleeping at night. So if you want to take a power nap of 10 to 20 minutes, that's completely fine. However, if you nap for hours, this can disrupt sleep later in the night. And again, that thing about sleep debt, sleeping more hours on the weekend does not make up for lost sleep. So just please go to sleep if you can. However, there are sleep disorders that prevent people from sleeping even when they can go to sleep. So there's insomnia, which is really common, and it's basically when you have trouble falling or staying asleep. Another common disorder would be sleep apnea, which is common in older male adults who are obese, and it's when your body has trouble getting oxygen into the body. And this can lead to daytime fatigue and other symptoms. And to detect these conditions, the most common ones are to have a sleep study, which you can do in the lab or at home, or an EEG done. Furthermore, the treatments include over-the-counter prescription drugs, which are mostly just sedatives, a CPAP for sleep apnea specifically, or just taking melatonin. But if you have problems with sleep, go to the doctor. Sleep deprivation is very serious. It could greatly influence your quality of life, and there are so many different chronic health conditions associated with them. So to summarize, not only is sleep deprivation dangerous, but it could also lead to numerous short-term and long-term health complications. If you can, just go to sleep. It's not worth staying up to finish binge watching that drama or to finish studying for that exam. This is my works cited, which you can delve deeper if you like to do more research.